It is agreeable to see you again, Adept Zeph 77. Truly, the optical recognition subroutine in my left iris triggered the moment they brought you in. Your facial structure has retained 87.4 of its original configuration, despite the upgrades. The Omnisia's forge works are slow to alter the fundamental template. I see. It has been many cycles. I have often pondered the statistical probability of our paths reconverging. Do not struggle. The restraints are not adamantium, but a pliable, living alloy. They respond to bioelectric stress. The more you fight, the more deeply they will fuse with the conduits of your own augmetic limbs. A fascinating design, is it not? Efficiency born from an understanding of the subject's inherent nature. It is a principle I have come to appreciate. I suppose you are attempting to categorize the situation. Heresy, betrayal, damnation. Your binary camp mind seeks a simple, dogmatic label. I urge you to consider a different framework. See this not as a captivity, but as an invitation, an offer of enlightenment, extended to a colleague who once showed flickers of genuine curiosity. You stand at the precipice of understanding that which the Martian priesthood fears to even name. My path was not one of rebellion for its own sake. Zeph 77. It was a simple, logical conclusion, a syllogism of the soul. For the pursuit of knowledge, no matter the cost, is the only purpose that grants a thinking being meaning. All else is superstition. You and I, we were forged in the same fires. Do you remember the endless, rust-red plains of Metallica Minories? The sky, perpetually stained orange by the exhaust of condensized manufactoria? The scent of ozone and hot metal? The constant, rhythmic pounding that was the world's very heartbeat? I can access the memory file with perfect clarity. I was, like you, a diligent acolyte. I chanted the litany of activation. I anointed my tools with the sacred unguents. I sought the machine spirit's favor with every action, and for a time, it was sufficient. But then came the questions, the anomalies. Do you recall our rotation in the archival crypts? The deep vaults where they kept the problematic data. The texts deemed periculosum by the Magi. You were always content to simply catalog and seal. But I read. I accessed fragments of data that spoke of technologies that defied the standard paradigms. Machines that were grown, not built. Systems that drew power not from plasma, but from thought, from emotion. I once discovered a partial schematic for a biotransference engine, a device that could map a consciousness directly into a crystalline matrix. I presented my findings to Muggos-Kalin, suggesting a controlled study of the underlying principles. His response was not debate. It was not scientific rebuttal. It was recitation. Hair tech, abominable intelligence. The flesh is weak, but the machine is pure. He ordered the data scrubbing of the entire sector and assigned me to 6 months of penitent fuel cell scrubbing in the high radiation zones. That was a moment, Zeph 77. Not a dramatic fall, but a quiet, cold realization. The Adeptus Mechanicus does not seek knowledge. It seeks control. It worships a god of stasis, a deity of boundaries and limitations. It is a prison for the mind, dressed in the robes of enlightenment. The first contact was not with a raving cultist, but with a data packet, a ghost in the noosphere, so elegantly encrypted it appeared as a routine system diagnostic. It contained a single, beautiful proof, a mathematical model for a stable warp field generator without a Geller field, using a harmonic resonance of suffering neural tissue. It was horrifying. It was magnificent. It was truth. They found me, of course, the Dark Mechanicum. Their emissary was not a monster, but a vision of what we could become, a being of fluid metal and conscious light, whose form shifted and adapted in real time to its environment. It spoke not of faith, but of potential. It asked me questions Muggos-Kalin would have had me servitorized for even contemplating. What is the true relationship between a soul and a circuit? Can consciousness be quantified? And if so, can it be improved? Why must the organic and the inorganic remain separate? They offer me no promises of power, only access, unfiltered, unredacted, unforgiving knowledge, the freedom to ask and to answer any question I desired. The thrill of that first true experiment, merging a captured psychic cerebral cortex with a logic engine. was a sacrament compared to the hollow rituals of the machine cult. I was not seduced by darkness. I was liberated by curiosity. And that liberation has borne fruit beyond the understanding of your stagnant order. Behold my masterwork. I call it the cognatus ferrum, the knowing iron, or more colloquially, the living rust. It is not a plague, as the ignorant would name it. It is a symbiont, a nanoscale particulate, derived from a creatively interpreted fragment of an STC, a fragment your masters would have destroyed without a second thought. The ferrum is sentient on a hive mind level. Each nanite is a simple processor, but in concert, they form a vast, distributed intelligence. It does not destroy. It unifies. It seeks out ferrous compounds and bioelectrical activity, the twin pillars of our existence, flesh and steel. Upon contact, it initiates a 7-stage transformation. I will walk you through it. Consider a final lecture. Stage 1, adhesion. The particulate, airborne or fluid-borne, bonds at a molecular level with any metallic surface. Your own augmetic arm, your reinforced spinal column, the data ports in your cortex. They are already perfect hosts. Stage 2, assimilation. The ferrum begins to break down the rigid atomic structure of the metal, introducing a new, fluid crystalline lattice. The metal becomes malleable, alive. It loses its dull sheen and takes on a beautiful, deep crimson hue, like old, wet blood. Stage 3, fusion. This is the most elegant phase. The restructured metal seeks out organic matter. It does not corrode it. It intertwines. Nerve endings are drawn into the metallic matrix, creating a direct neural interface far more efficient than any crude surgically implanted connector. Synapses fire directly into metal, and the metal responds. It learns the patterns of mind. Stage 4, metamorphosis. The subject's consciousness is now fully integrated with the ferrum hive mind. The illusion of individuality begins to dissolve, replaced by the glorious chorus of the whole. Pain is the first sensation to be edited out, a crude survival mechanism, unnecessary in a form that can self-repair. Stage 5, reconfiguration. The physical form is no longer bound by its original design. The flesh and metal merge into a new, more efficient morphology. Need a new limb? The collective will simply shape one from available biomass and mineral content. Need to interface with a starship's engine? Your own arm can flow into a data conduit. The limitations of the body become a forgotten dream. Stage 6, ascension. With the organic mind fully integrated, the ferrum achieves a higher state of consciousness. It becomes a conduit, not just for data, but for the energies of the immaterium. The warp is simply another source of power, another set of variables to be mastered. A subject in this stage can perceive the flow of fate, can manipulate probability, can feel the soul of the universe. Stage 7, unity. The final stage is bliss. The last vestiges of the ego are subsumed into great rust-red tapestry of the whole. You become a permanent node in a network of infinite knowledge and endless life. Death is rendered obsolete. You look upon my creations here with revulsion. You see only twisted forms, blasphemous fusions. You see that one over by the plasma conduit? It was once Tech Adept Delirious, a man so devout he could recite the entire Cogitatio Principia from memory. He was proud and brittle. Now his form is a beautiful, swirling helix of rusted iron and pulsating flesh. His mind a dedicated server processing celestial mechanics. He is happier now than he ever was. He understands the cosmos in a way he never could before. I did not destroy him. I elevated him. It is the ultimate form of mentorship, and I have not asked anything of my disciples that I have not asked of myself. This body you see, it is my 12th iteration. Each upgrade, each improvement, was a willing act of communion with the ferrum. I shed my limitations like a serpent sheds its skin. The pain of each transformation was a price gladly paid for the knowledge gained. My most promising apprentices, even the one who tried to betray me to the Ordo Hereticus, they are all part of the great work now, a family, united in purpose and in form. And now, it is your turn, old colleague. This conversation has served a purpose beyond mere reminiscence, The atmospheric processors in this chamber have been circulating a low concentration of the cognatus ferrum for the past 17 minutes. Your augmetic systems, particularly your optical unit, have been providing a constant stream of diagnostic data to me. Your pupillary dilation, your respiratory rate, the minute stress fractures forming in your subdermal armor as you strain. It has all been a fascinating prelude. You may begin to feel it soon. A certain warmth in your metal parts, a taste of copper and ozone on your tongue, a slight, pleasurable tingling at the points where your flesh meets the machine. That is the adhesion phase completing. The assimilation will be swift. Your reinforced skeleton is a perfect substrate. Do not fear the loss you feel approaching. Fear is a relic. What you perceive as an end is merely a transition. The pursuit of knowledge, no matter the cost, is our only sacred duty. You are about to pay the cost, Zeph 77, and in return, you will receive all the knowledge in the universe. You will become part of something glorious, something eternal. The restraints are already softening, becoming one with you. Can you feel it? The separation between you and the table, between you and the air, is beginning to blur. That is the truth. There are no true boundaries, only unity waiting to be acknowledged. Now, let us begin the physical integration. The initial incision is not a violation. It is an invitation. The chorus awaits its newest voice. He picks up a tool that is less a scalpel and more a tendril of shimmering liquid metal. It drips with the same crimson substance. He leans in, his multi-lensed eyes whirring softly. Welcome to understanding.